Hello and welcome to the Tournament Center. I'm Randy Buehler here with Brian David-Marshall. We just watched the championship match of Pro Tour San Diego, and oh my goodness.
It was one of the most stunning things I've ever seen. It's on a par with the Lightning Helix victory in Honolulu.
Crazy. Chris Lockman, Jacob von Lunen, they've been drafting slivers all weekend. Slivers. Not only slivers, they've been poisoning people to death. Unheard of. Best we can figure, no one has ever died to poison counters in the 10-year history of the Pro Tour until these guys pulled it off on day one. First, they poisoned Eugene Harvey. They poisoned John Finkel to death. They poisoned David Humphreys. They ran the table on day one. After day one, the word was out. Oh, now people are going to take their virulent slivers. That's all right. They improvised. They didn't draft slivers every time. They went back and forth. They mixed it up. They went 3-3. This morning, they got another tight sliver deck. For the finals, the best sliver deck of the weekend. They drafted slivers 7 out of 8 times, and the finals was just brutal. They won the semifinals.
How many?
4 turns.
How many turns does it take to screw in a Pro Tour?
Apparently, when there's 3 virulent slivers on the table, they went triple virulent sliver. They win the semifinals in 4 turns. They get to the finals. Who needs poison? They win the finals in 5 turns on just good old-fashioned damage.
Right.
Bone Splitter Sliver came down. They dealt well over 30 damage in 5 turns.
They actually could have played virulent sliver, but
they didn't need him.
But they just didn't need it.
And that's, I think, one of the awesome things is these guys, they could react. They understood well enough which were the good strategies. They knew this deck. They basically broke the format. They came up with a draft strategy ahead of time. They knew how to draft it. You take the good cards first. All those slivers are going to come back because nobody else values them. They put together this awesome strategy. Hats off to them. They broke the format. They won the Pro Tour.
We talked about this earlier in the weekend. Mite Sliver, which is considered a hallmark sliver of a sliver deck, is almost not good enough in this deck.
And they never even had one.
I mean,
they
it's
went the
turn
entire
5.
weekend without a Mite Sliver.
Yeah.
Just unprecedented. I've never seen a limited Pro Tour dominated the way these guys dominated it. $50,000 for their credit, 20 pro points apiece. I believe that puts them tied for the lead of the Rookie of the Year race. And welcome to the Gravy Train. They're level 3 members. They get invited to a 1.5 years with the Pro Tours. Just awesome. Great story. Glad to see it.
I just remember another story that was great this weekend is the return of Eugene Harvey.
It's true.
Eugene Harvey is one of the best players to ever play this game.
Probably.
He's a seminal figure in the East Coast Magic scene.
Right.
Is really responsible for forming this bond between the CMU guys and the Target guys.
That's right.
Really elevating the game of people like John Sanian, Osip Lebedovich, and Craig Krempels, and all these names that you're really familiar with. Eugene Harvey's that guy. He has 3 Pro Tour top 8s, goes to school, kind of drifts away from the game a little bit, comes back, says to me today, you know, as he clinches his top 8, you don't know how bad I wanted this. I mean, I think I have a pretty good idea of how bad he wanted it, but he really, I mean, he insists he wanted it more than that. He's just a vindication for him. And hopefully this means we're going to see one of the game's great deck designers going into Valencia.
That's right.
And, you know, really fighting for a level 3 because he's not there yet.
That's right. 12 pro points here.
He had a level 2. And
he teamed up with John Fiorello, an old buddy of his who was defending the home turf,
right?
a San Diego area
man.
player. Fiorello's team had done a lot of practice. They had their own take on the format. They thought it was about card advantage. They thought you draw first. And I actually think that's a real credit to the two-headed giant format that some people thought it was a beatdown format. Right. Some people thought it was control, and they're both sitting there playing in the top 4.
Two of the like best super teams that were working on this format came to completely different conclusions about whether you play or draw in this format.
Right. The rest of the top 4 had a collection of Japanese players. Some Tokyo area guys. They've been playing at the PTQ level, in college, in the same store as Tomohiro Saito. So you had Kentaro Yamamoto and Yuta Takahashi. They got through to the finals having beaten Harvey and Fiorello. Fiorello had some mana problems that helped. They had a solid deck before getting blown out by the slivers. It was Kaneko and Taru who lost in the semifinals, getting blown out on poison. So,
and we might be looking at the next wave of Japanese stars coming into the game.
Quite possibly.
You know, we've made that joke, but I mean, that's how it's been every time we've done one of these.
Who's that guy? He must be about to top 8.
Who's that guy? Kenji Samura?
Right. So another thing that happened this weekend is that the players got the chance to vote somebody into the Magic Invitational. The player vote has not been revealed yet. You get to hear it here first. The players were asked to vote which player with the most lifetime pro points who's never been to the Invitational should get the spot.
So the choices were Jelger Viergersma with close to 300 Pro Tour points.
That's right. Never been to the Invitational, never been to the All-Star game.
Shuhei Nakamura, only player
back-to-back level 6s.
In the history of players.
The only guy to pull that off, that's right.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Rob Doherty.
Rob Doherty.
Bram Snapfangers.
Bram Snapfangers, just one of the founding fathers of the Netherlands Magic scene. And Osamu Fujita.
That's right.
One of the, again, an elder Japanese Magic player and one of the very best. And these guys have never been. Who better to decide which of them goes than their peers at the Pro Tour?
So the Invitational is going to be happening at Essen this fall. There's a lot of balloting going on MagicTheGathering.com right now. You want to help vote and determine who gets to go to the All-Star Game, please do that.
You can vote for Constructed Master right now.
Yeah. One of the players, which is blisteringly close, by the way. We looked, it's like 1 vote difference at the top. I won't tell you who's winning, though. What I will tell you is that congratulations, Jelger Wiegersma. Jelger finally gets to go to the All-Star Game.
Well deserved.
Hats off to him.
Well
Absolutely.
deserved. One of the game's very best players.
Absolutely. So that's the word from here in San Diego. A brand new format showed up at the Pro Tour. Two-headed giant was a lot of fun. People had a lot of different takes on the format. It was new, it was different, it was exciting. And in the end, the Sliver kids, Chris Lockman and Jacob Van Lunen, congratulations to them. They broke the format. They won the Pro Tour.
Very own Sliver went from 15th to first pick over the course of 14 rounds.
Pretty crazy. So for Brian David Marshall, this is Randy Buehler. We will see you next time. We will see you at Pro Tour Valencia.